contemplated making today's video for a long time. This happened a while ago, but it went on up until about 2 months ago. And I really wanted to tell you guys this story, but the reason I didn't for so long was for multiple reasons. Number one being my safety. Number two being a lot of people always claim that the stalker stories people tell are fake, and I just didn't want to be one of those people that puts out another stalker story and being accused of making it up. But then I realized that I don't really care what people think because I know the truth, and people who are close to me know this really happened, and I have receipts. So I decided I would finally do it, and I also don't know what's gonna happen if like my stalker sees this video or if he's even still stalking me. I don't know. Yeah. And also I thought it would be good to tell this story just so that other YouTubers, if they're not already aware, they can be more aware of things that can happen as a YouTuber, and to be very careful. I'm not gonna live in fear. I don't live in fear anymore. I'm like pretty sure this will not continue. Reasons being, I did press charges, and I will be getting into that later into the story. But as you guys can tell by the title, this is going to be my stalker story. This is a really long video, so grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get into it. I am going to be showing some things on the screen, some things I'm not going to, just because I do have private information in some of these messages from my stalker, and I don't want more stalkers, obviously, so I'm not going to show you guys those messages, but I will sum them up for you, the ones that do have a lot of my information in them, and then I will show you guys other messages, and I will be playing voicemails from my investigator, just so you guys know this is all legit, and then I did take action. So yeah, so this all started in June of last year, 2016. I wasn't aware, however, that this was happening until I want to say July or August. This was in July for sure that I found out that this was happening, because I didn't even know that this was happening when it was, and you guys will find out why in just a second. But what happened was, I went in one day with some of my friends into the old restaurant I used to work in, and we were just having some drinks, having fun, and I know all the girls that work there. We were just hanging out, and the bartender, I'm not going to be saying names, I don't want anyone knowing where I worked previously or anything like that, but the bartender, I know her, and she was like, oh my gosh, Grace, I've been wanting to tell you this, but I don't have any of your contact information anymore, like your phone number or whatever. She was like, has so-and-so, my boss, gotten hold of you? There's something we've been trying to get a hold of you to tell you. And I was like, no, like no one's contacted me, like what's going on? I don't want to throw any shade at like my old job either. It's not even around anymore. So yeah, that restaurant is now shut down. They weren't very professional there, I'm gonna say that. So obviously they were not very good at being on top of protecting my safety. I didn't work there anymore, so that's not really their job, but it just didn't really seem like they cared too much about my safety, since it took me like 2 months to figure out this was even happening. But anyways, the bartender is like, okay, so this man has been calling and calling and calling and calling, and at first he said that he was one of your really good friends and he needed to get a hold of you, and it was really important, and he was trying to get your address or your phone number or any kind of contact information that he could get. And they were like, sorry, like we can't disclose that information. And anytime someone who would answer the phone would shut him down on information, he would freak out into the phone and be like, I'm gonna kill that fucking slut. If you don't give me her fucking information, I'm gonna fucking kill that bitch. Like, I'm gonna kill her, let her know. And he would call like 10 times a day sometimes. It was just really sketchy. I guess they just kind of summed it up to the fact that maybe it was a prank call or whatever. And when they first told me, I didn't take it too seriously either, because I knew that there are people from where I lived before moving to California that have always made fun of me for like my YouTube videos and stuff. So I really thought it was just someone messing with me, like trying to get me to make a story time about it. And because this is back when I was doing a lot of story times. Funny, I'm doing one right now. But yeah, so I didn't take it too seriously. And I was just like, whatever, it's someone messing with me. Like, they said he hasn't called in a while, so whatever, you know? And just pushed it to the side, which I shouldn't have done. I should have taken it more seriously, but, you know, you can just never tell these days if someone's messing with you. The day I started taking it seriously was when I was going through my DMs, and I was just going through, like, answering some of your guys' DMs, and I got this one DM, and it was from a fake Tanamojo page, and I opened it, and the message said, I'm gonna read you part of it. It says, "Hello Grace, as you can tell, I am not Tanamojo. I've done some digging and found some information on you. Very helpful, by the way. I called up," and he explains that he called up all the schools that I've gone to and all the jobs that I've worked at. He knew them exactly, where they were, what job it was, what school it was, all of them. So then he says when he called my high school that I went to, he said he told them that he was a manager of a job that I had applied at, and he needed to do a background check and get my files. And then he said, "I have a really good reason to be tracking you down, but that's for you to find out. I have a lot more information on you, thanks to the company I work for. I will not stop until I get what I want. Talk to you later." That's the first message that I can't show on the screen because it has tons of my information. But when I saw that, I was really taken back, because I was like, how would somebody know all this stuff about me? And I knew it wasn't someone I knew at this point, because first of all, they would have never made a fake Tanamojo like profile to do this. Like, the people who I'm thinking of that make fun of me probably don't even know who Tana is. The reason they make fun of me is because they obviously don't really understand YouTube and they just think I'm weird. And secondly, the way this person was typing, I was like, okay, this is not someone I know. If it was someone just trying to mess with me, I feel like they wouldn't go to the lengths of contacting all of these places. Maybe like my current job or something. At that point, I called my dad and I was like, "Dad, there's some weird guy like messaging me, and he's been calling my old job, so he's obviously being serious that he really did call these places, and I don't know what to do." And he was like, "You need to call the cops right now." So that's what I did. I called the cops and I printed out the DMs that were sent to me and the fake profile. And the cops came to my house, they asked me a bunch of questions, and I gave them the printouts that I had. They pretty much at that point said that it's really hard to find a cyber stalker and track them down sometimes, so if they were gonna work this hard and put in this much effort into my case, I needed to promise that I would prosecute even if I knew who the person was in the end. And I agreed to that, obviously. If I know this person and they're gonna do this to me, then I don't care, like, you're prosecuted. So basically, this went on for a couple months, I wanna say, of the cops coming to my house, asking me questions, telling me what they knew so far. I remember they found a suspect and they came to my house and told me about it and basically said they were going to go see, like, if it was the guy they were looking for, and he was in another state. They did that, and I got a message shortly, like, I want to say like 2 weeks after the cops came to my house and said that they had a suspect. I got this message from the same account, but they had changed the username and everything about the account. It looked completely different, but on the DMs, I could scroll up and it was the same account, obviously. So, this is what they said. They said, "Hi, this is blank, the one that is stalking you. I just want to say I love you. That is why I'm doing all this. I need you to be mine. Accept my love. That's all I need from you. Just tell me what I have to do to make you love me. I'm aware you contacted the police, you son of a bitch. If something happens to me, I swear to God it will be the biggest mistake of your life. You will never see another sunrise. You also put my dad at risk too, you skank, and he didn't do anything. That's how heartless you are. But when I come face to face with you, I'll show you how heartless I can be. You made your situation 1,000 times worse. All I was trying to do was love you, but you're too stupid to see that. And I remember I read this, and it was really early in the morning when I read it. So it was at 5:20 a.m. that I was opening these, and the reason I know that is because he was responding as I was opening them, and he saw that I was reading it, so he said, say something, say something, say something, say something. Heart, let's just talk this out. Don't just sit there. Say something. Make a story time about this. I love you. You hurt me so bad. Talk to me, baby. And I was absolutely disgusted, and I was like really freaked out at this point because obviously he wasn't taken into custody and he knew I told on him, and I was scared shitless. Like, okay, my stalker knows that I ratted him out and he's not like locked up, so he's gonna come after me. It's pretty much what I was thinking, and I was scared. At this point, this is when I started living in fear a little bit. I was very paranoid. I didn't want to go to work because I didn't want my stalker to show up there because I worked alone. I was a barista, so I was working alone in a coffee stand at the wee hours of the morning, like 4 a.m., and it's dark still, and I was just scared to death that my stalker was gonna come through. Every time there was someone that came that I didn't recognize, I was like super nervous, and I didn't know what this person looked like or anything like that. I didn't know what to look out for, and I didn't know what kind of vehicle they had or anything like that, and I was just worried that he was gonna come to my state and find me, because if he found out all of this information about me, I felt like it would be easy for him to find out where I lived also, and I pretty much just assumed that he did know where I live. So I was always scared to death to be home alone. I didn't want to go home when it was dark. I wouldn't go upstairs when I would get home. If I was home alone, I wouldn't go upstairs because I was too scared to go upstairs into my room because I was afraid someone would be hiding in there. And I would just pretty much stay in the living room until I wasn't home alone. And I would stay at my mom's house a lot. And I also felt like I was putting people around me in danger almost, because I didn't want like this person to try to take people out around me to like hurt me or anything either, because they clearly had very ill intentions. So I was just trying to be really cautious, but I was also very paranoid. Whenever a car would be behind me and I was driving home, I would never go where I was going. Like, I would just pass my road because I didn't know if that was a stalker or not. And I was just paranoid like that for months. And then I finally realized, you know, I'm not gonna live my life like this. Like, I'm just gonna, whatever happens, happens, and I'm not gonna be scared, you know? I didn't hear anything from the cops for a while until one day the investigator called me, or I think he texted me, and he said he had a picture of my stalker and that he wanted to show me in case he showed up on my porch. So that was comforting. And I can't remember why, but I wasn't able to meet up with the investigator at that time. I don't remember if I was like in California or what I was doing. I really couldn't tell you, but I remember I wasn't able to meet up with him. And I never did, because I ended up moving to California like right after that. I never got to meet up with him or see what my stalker looked like. But the investigator was sure of who was stalking me at this point, and I didn't really need to see a picture anymore because a few months ago, my family actually found his YouTube channel. He made a YouTube channel, and it was the most disturbing thing I've ever seen. It's recently been taken down. I'm not going to say anything about the channel, but basically he posted a bunch of videos, and one of them being about me and his entire, he called it a story time of how he was stalking me. and he literally had no shame. He explained everything that he did, and how the cops like showed up at his house and all of this stuff. It was insane. He admitted to literally everything. Like, he was like not okay in the head at all. Like, he was definitely like fucked up in the head and just demented in every way. So I sent the video link to the police, my investigator. I got a phone call from the prosecutor's office and they asked for permission if I could, or if they could prosecute him, and I said yes. They asked if I would be able to come to a hearing if that were to happen in Washington State. That's where he would have to be taken, since my case was in Washington State, you know, that's where it was opened, so that's where it needs to take place. So I said yes to that too. I don't know what is going on right now. I did notice all of his videos were taken down, so I assumed that they contacted him. I don't know if he's in custody. I really feel like they're just not really doing what I thought we were doing. I've gotten an email saying pretty much that they don't think he's actually that much of a threat to me because he lives so far away and stuff, and I just don't really agree with that, because he could do this to anyone else. He could do this to anyone who's near him. He's very dangerous. The videos that were on his channel were absolutely terrifying. He pretty much, I used to study like psychiatry a lot in books. Like, I would always read like psychiatry books and do research on it. He had all the signs of being a serial killer. I'm not making accusations, but I'm just saying it's sketchy. He had videos of him shitting on plates, storing his shit in his house, and he was totally cool about it. Like, he had a video like my tour of my shit storage. Like, I'm not kidding. I was too scared to click on that one, but yeah. And then he made other videos of him talking about how he keeps his shit and he collects his own shit, and he has killed animals, he's killed pets. He talked about how he kills cats when he gets angry at people, because he gets so angry that he feels like he has to kill something, so he kills cats. He said he has sex with dogs, and he's totally open about it. Like, he's like, I would have sex with a person, but no girls like me, so I have sex with dogs. And he tortures them, and he's had charges against him for this, like killing people's pets, I guess. And I just think this guy needs help. Like, he needs to be like locked up. He needs to be like at least in a mental institution, because he's not okay. Now I'm gonna play you guys the voicemails. Okay, so here's the first voicemail from my investigator.
Hi, this is Officer Police Department calling for Grace Renfro. I'm the one writing up drafting the search warrants for Instagram to try to figure out who this guy is that's stalking you. I need to know the date and time the messages were sent. I don't have that information. I think that's the only thing I need. If you can give me a call or send me a text or somehow communicate to me the date and time the message.
Okay, and then this is the second one.
Yeah, Ms. Renfro, this is Officer Police. I have a name of the guy that was, well, I am sure he's the one that's doing the post. He's not local. But I wanted to show you a picture to see if you've ever dealt with him or seen him. His name is, I'm just trying to find it here. I lost it. I think it was, yeah. I want to show you a picture if you're available. Give me a call back. I work until 8 tonight, or I work,
But yeah, then he just goes on to tell his information, so I'm not going to play the rest of it.
Hi, this message is for Grace Renfro. This is calling from the prosecutor's office. You are listed as a victim in a case that I'm reviewing, and I wanted to get a chance to talk to you about that. So if you could you give me a call back? My phone number is...
That's pretty much the story so far. I don't know what's going on really. I haven't been contacted in a while, but I assume that they're not going to do anything, which sucks. So that's another reason why I am making this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and just give it a thumbs up in general, because I really didn't want to make this video. I'm scared. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I do have another stalker story, but I really don't know about that one, especially because that one was even scarier because he lived in my area, and I also feel like it's like unbelievable that I've had 2 really sketchy stalkers, but I have. I promise you everything I'm saying is 100% true. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video, and I will see you guys in my next one.
I really think you should